And what is good, WWE 2K fans? It's your boy DC, and I am back with another episode of my WWE 2K Wishlist series. So, in this episode, we're going to be discussing the little things that I think would make WWE 2K18 a better overall game. Now, I posted a video like this last year for WWE 2K17. So, what I would do is go ahead and post a link in the description so you can go ahead and check that out too. Leave a comment and let me know what you think about that one as well. But moving on, we're going to go ahead and jump into some of the things that I think would really just help this game out. Just the little small things. All right, so coming in at the number one spot is actually something that I stole from last year's Little Things video. And that is going to be a quick way to break the 10 count when you're on the outside. Like I said, as somebody who likes to fight on the outside a lot, man, I mean, I think it's kind of crazy that you can't, break the 10 count when the ref starts counting. There should really be a quick way to go ahead and break that count, without having to climb all the way back in the ring and then climb all the way back out of the ring, basically giving up any advantage that you had, while you were on the outside. I mean, so what I suggest is that, they just put like a little prompt in there or something like if you're fighting on the outside, your opponent is down, how about just being able to stand maybe next to the ring apron and like it'll give you a prompt that says like break 10 count or something like that. You hit the button and they do an animation where he rolls in real quick and rolls back out. I mean, so many superstars do this in the WWE, for real. So I don't see why this shouldn't be something that we could have in the game as well. So coming in at number two is going to be the pinfall breakup system. Now I do realize that there have been some improvements made in this area, but unfortunately, man, the collision detection is still kind of bad sometimes. Um, Meaning that you could hit the prompt or whatever to break up the pin, but I mean it still kind of slides off and it doesn't connect. I mean it almost seems as like if you're not even hitting them, they just like kind of no sell it and the guy just gets up off the guy he's pinning, which looks really weird. I mean, a true pinfall breakup, I mean, you actually see some collision. I mean, as if the wrestler is trying to get the other person off the person that's being pinned. So, I mean, I think they should really focus in on that and just work on the collision. Um, Even to the point, man, I wouldn't even mind like if they did like some can animations to where like exactly how the pinfall is gonna break up. Just maybe throw in a couple of different animations on that. So like maybe some people can do like a double axe handle to break it up, or maybe like a drop kick or leg drop or something like that. Just have different animations and mix it up so it won't come so redundant. You know what I'm saying? And also, they should allow you to do this from different positions. So, like, just say if you're a lucha style guy, whatever, you have a springboards ability. If you're standing on the apron and somebody's being pinned, you should get a prompt like a pinfall breakup prompt from that position as well, and you hit it, and then your guy will perform like a springboard type maneuver to break up that pinfall. Same thing goes for being on the top rope and everything like that. So I mean, it's just so many different positions and like, angles that they could attack this with. But I mean, one of the key ones that I would say is being able to break up pinfalls like while you're on the outside. Like because I mean, you see this so many times like in the WWE when a guy's being pinned but his feet are like close to the rope so you can like just you'll see another guy reach under and like pull him off or pull the ref out. Just something like that. I mean, like different animations like that. Like if they're close enough to the ropes, you should be able to pull them out or pull the ref out if he's close enough to the ropes. So, like I said, that's going to be number two on my list. So number three is going to be the ability to pull your opponent out of the ring by their feet. First of all, they really need to, I guess, do away with the whole weight cap thing. Now I understand it in some situations, so obviously we're not going to have like Kalisto pulling out, what I'm saying, a Braun Strowman or somebody like that. But even with that being said, I mean, the fact that, what I'm saying, you have to be almost two weight sizes larger than somebody just to pull them out by their feet is ridiculous. I mean, so in that regard, yeah, they really need to, figure out a way to make this work without that kind of restriction on it. I would say, I mean, pretty much everybody can do this. I mean, to a degree, like I said, unless it's under extreme circumstances. But like I said, for the most part, man, I mean, this is just something that every wrestler should be able to do. Number four is going to be bring back the 5 count. I think this was a huge feature for people who like to play as like heel characters or aggressive characters who like to hold on to their holds, after their opponent has already reached the ropes, and the ref starts, counting down before he gets disqualified. I mean, you can also implement it in the other aspects of the game too. I mean, like, the whole corner beat down things or illegal, moves such as chokes and everything. So this was one of the things, like I said, I think it would be tremendous to those guys that are heels or for players who like to play as heel characters. I think it would really be essential at this point, man. I mean, that's one of the features that they really need to bring back. All right, so number five is going to be pretty straightforward. I mean, and that is just simply improve the ref's reaction time when it comes to pinfalls. I mean, seriously, man. I mean, he takes a little too long to get down and start to count when, you've hit a finisher or something and got a guy down, and then you go for the pinfall, and the ref just kind of, walking around like he hate his job or something, and just taking his sweet time. I mean, that's really not how things work. I mean, and it really takes away from the moment when, that happens because like generally, what I'm saying, a ref, I mean, his interactions are just as big a part of like, a finisher or a big move, and going for a pinfall as anything because, what I mean, he adds that excitement to it like, when he dives or like runs and drops down quickly or whatever the case may be, what I mean, to try to count that pinfall. So, yeah, I mean, we definitely need some improvement in that area. All right, so coming in at number six is going to be more realistic reactions. Now, the scenario that comes to mind in this regard is after you win by pin or submission, whatever it may be. Sometimes the actions don't coincide with what actually happened in the ring. So just take like somebody losing by a roll up pin. Generally, what happens on TV is like the guy that got pinned is like really upset, and just wondering what happened. He's in there arguing with the ref or whatever the case may be. But what I'm saying, that doesn't really happen in game. I mean, all that happens is it just gives you a cutscene as if you beat the guy down or something like that. And that's really weird. I mean, it doesn't match up with, like I say, it doesn't tell the true story because like I remember I've actually posted a couple of videos like with Kevin Owens using the foot on a rope ability on me, and it's like he would use it and he would actually get the pinfall, but it's like afterwards my guy would just like stay down as if like he was actually hit with a finisher or something, and it's like I don't understand the logic behind that. When in actuality, I mean, my guy should be, pissed at the ref or whatever, trying to explain the situation, what happened, while Kevin Owens is retreating up the ramp, and, laughing and smiling or whatever, as if to say, I got one over on you or something like that. Another example would be double countouts. Now, there are a couple of different scenarios, that may happen that would cause a double countout, like either one, I guess both guys are incapacitated and can't get in the ring, or they're still fighting, I mean, while the ref is counting and they accidentally end up getting counted out. Now, if the match ends with the latter scenario, then I would much rather you be treated to a cutscene showing the two opponents brawling and maybe let it fade to black or something like that. Or even better, let it escalate into a backstage brawl or something like that. Just a thought. So, number seven is going to be a more authentic promo system. So the promo system in WWE 2K17 was probably one of the main features that I was actually excited for. But even with that being said, I mean, there is a lot of room for improvement. One of the main issues that I have with the promo system is that a lot of the times the promos that they cut don't necessarily fit that character's persona. So if you take someone like an Undertaker, you know what I'm saying, he wouldn't be out there talking about, his boots or whatever, or how great he is and how better he is than everybody else. That's just not Taker like. So I think they really need to work on, tailoring these promos to, I guess, the wrestler's actual persona and like what they would say or how they would react in a ring. Um, like I said, I think that would add a lot of realism for one. I mean, it would just give it a more authentic feel. I would also like to see, them add in maybe some catchphrases or something like that to end off the promo. Like, The Rock has his "if you smell" or "that's the bottom line." There's so many things to choose from. So, I mean, I think, by incorporating those kind of things into the promo system, it would really, like I said, just add to that realism and give us that simulation style. Secondly, I would like to see the in-game personality traits play a bigger role in things. As it stands right now, I mean, it doesn't really mean anything, especially not in my career at least. So I would say if you have an arrogant guy or something like that, his responses should, reflect that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you have a, timid guy, maybe he'll, run out of the ring or something, if he's confronted by, a rival superstar or something like that. Just something to give those things life. I mean, and to give them meaning and purpose. I mean, instead of just being empty gestures or whatever. I don't know what the thought process was behind that. I think it may do something in the universe mode, but as of right now, like I said, I mean, I've been playing career, and I mean, I don't see a purpose for it. And lastly, man, I'm really not fond of the whole guess the type of crowd mechanic that they have, to, I guess, determine whether your promo goes over or not with that said crowd. I mean, I think it needs to be a better way to determine, like, I guess, the crowd pop or whatever. Um, because as it stands right now, I mean, there's not really anything indicating what kind of crowd it is. I mean, you kind of just have to figure it out. I guess once you get your promo meter past a certain point, it'll tell you what kind of crowd it is. But I mean, even with that being said, I mean, it's just not enough to go on. So you just pretty much spend your whole promo just like guessing, I guess, what you think they might want to hear. I mean, and that's just a bit odd. I mean, instead of, focusing on delivering a message. So I think that's something that definitely needs to be worked on. Number 8 is going to be more interview options. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Renee, but damn, do we have to talk to her in every interview and in the same place always? I mean, it's always backstage. I mean, there's no variety. I mean, I would like to see, different shows or be interviewed by somebody different for a change. I mean, like I said, how about we do some, cutting edge or, the highlight reel or just shows like that. Even throw in some legend ones, like Piper's Pit or something like that. Just anything, man. I mean, just mix it up some. And with that being said, it would also be nice to have like some mid-match cutaways, giving updates or just like on matches that happened earlier that night or injury reports, just cool little tidbits like that, man, to keep things interesting, and not just do the same thing, just match promo match promo, I mean, in that same order like every time. I mean, that's what I would love to have like mid-show recap or something like that, or show like something where the GMs or something come out and make a match for the next Raw or SmackDown or whatever, or at a pay-per-view or something like that. Instead of just like, hey, you cut a promo, somebody come out and interrupt you, you have a match, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Just something to break that monotony, man. I mean, it needs to have some variety. All right, so number 9 is going to be having more control over the match. Personally, I would like to see things like, end of match breakouts and, being able to abandon a match, in a lot of ways like the computer does. Like a lot of time you'll see him like just try to go, I guess get his belt and just walk off, something like that. That would be cool to add, what I'm saying, as well as just being able to set match stipulations. Like if you call somebody out during a promo or something like that, just being able to challenge them to, different types of matches and stuff, letting it be your choice, as opposed to just, giving whatever the pay-per-view hands you or whatever. And being able to call your tag team partner or something like from the back or something if you have a tag team or if you're in a faction or something like that. What I'm saying? Just being able to call them out, to help you out, during the match, or if you just want to end the match and, offer your opponent a beatdown or something like that. You know what I mean? And also, allow these things to shape the story. If you call a faction attack, beat down, then maybe next week, you're in a, 3-on-3 match or something like that, with your rival finds two partners or something like that, whatever the case may be, man. Just more control. All right, and coming in at number 10 is going to be more in-match mini games. Now, I know to a lot of you, mini games is a dirty word, but just hear me out for a second. The reason why I'm saying this is because like there are a lot of instances like in real matches, like in real life, where like in the middle of the match, like they do like the back and forth brawl, where the crowd is like boo, yeah, all that kind of stuff like that. So I mean, I think that would be cool to kind of throw in the game, just like much like how chain wrestling is mainly at the beginning of the match. I would say like maybe once you get to that midway point. I mean, I don't know if you can tie it to stamina or just like um, the remaining energy that both guys have left. I would think more so the stamina aspect of it because like somebody could be dominating the match or whatever. But anyway, like I said, getting back to what I was saying, I mean, just like having those elements in there, I mean, just like the back and forths and stuff like that, and also like have the top rope battles, like when the guys are trying to battle for a position, like when they're on both on the top turnbuckle, one guy's trying to stop from being superplexed or whatever, and the other guy's trying to perform the superplex, and they kind of go back and forth, trade some blows. I guess to decide who actually gets the advantage in that situation. I would like to see stuff like that because it just makes the game far more authentic, man. I mean, and it's just like I think it would add like, just an awesome level of realism. All right, 2K fans, that's gonna do it for this episode, man. But like I said, I plan on having plenty more, man, because I got a lot to say just about the WWE 2K series in general. So, like I said, y'all stay tuned, man. As always, I appreciate y'all watching. Do me a favor and go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like button, comment, share the video, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate all of it, man, and I appreciate y'all. Until then, I'll talk to y'all later.